Yeah, that's right.
Good job. Wow, amazing.
Yeah.
Hey everybody, I'm here today with Andrew Garton,
Hello.
an incredible sax player, composer, arranger, and beautiful human being, always smiling, and what a pleasure to have you here. Thank you, Andrew.
Thanks for having me, man.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So, where does music come from you? Like this, your parents play?
Yeah, well, my dad, I think more so than most people of his generation, like he's a Beatles fan
Oh,
and
is
all
he?
that kind of stuff. But
Yeah.
like he was a guitar player as well and
Awesome.
played in bands when he was a kid.
Cool.
And then kind of stopped, I guess.
Yeah.
So like it's really inspiring to be like to not have to stop. You know, like he became a teacher and all that kind of stuff.
Awesome.
But then always his parents were like super into music as well, like that kind of war era thing. Like
yeah,
everyone
sure.
had a piano in their house and
Absolutely.
could play a bit and knew every song. And so, which
Yeah.
is cool when you start playing jazz. They're like people 2 generations older than you are like, oh, I know that song,
Totally.
and like it's just some weird song that you
Right,
just
right.
happen to play for some reason, but they know it from like a movie that was in, and it,
Yeah,
like
sure.
it has genuine meaning in their life. Like they remember stuff that happened when that was on the radio.
I
So it's
know.
cool. Like it's really interesting.
It's amazing. Yeah, I love that totally. And it's so kind of so fascinating to like how we can connect, you know, thanks to the language of jazz and the music,
Yeah.
like with generations, you know.
Totally.
Sometimes,
Yeah.
it's so
Yeah.
cool. And I play with people like in the 80s and the 90s.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
It's just incredible. So
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
And the saxophone. Why did you choose the
I,
saxophone?
this is an embarrassing story almost for people
Please, that's what we want.
in maybe mid '90s when I don't know. Do you follow rugby league?
Not really.
Well,
yeah.
so Tina Turner did the theme song.
Oh, really?
Simply
Oh,
the
wow.
Best is like
Yeah,
the
I
rugby
should
league theme
remember
song.
that. Of course,
And I remember like a rugby league grand final,
Yeah.
presumably the Broncos were playing, and this saxophone player in like tight leather vest, and it was like
Yeah, super
gyrating on the
cool.
stage. Yeah, I don't know if I thought it was cool at the time, but it's like my earliest memory of the
Really?
saxophone, so it's like, all right, okay.
Oh, that's fantastic.
But like I quickly got onto other stuff, which is
Yeah.
cool. Like you had some teachers who put me straight, and started listening to Sonny Rollins and John Coltrane and stuff early on, which is cool. Which is a good way to start. So, yeah.
Fantastic. That was my favorite instrument that I felt connected to was the saxophone.
Yeah.
I was telling this story to Roberto last time he was here. Like I really wanted a saxophone, but my mom gave me a guitar.
Yeah,
I think we
right.
were just too poor.
Yeah,
I said,
yeah,
"That's
yeah,
expensive."
yeah.
And she's like, "Yeah, here's the guitar." I was like, "Oh, I was so disappointed."
Yeah,
So-
yeah. But you bet like guitars. I don't know. There's more gigs for guitar than
Absolutely.
saxophone. So,
That's
maybe,
true.
maybe that's the way to go.
Totally.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mom. Yeah.
yeah.
So cool. And did you went like through an academic process? Like, did you go to uni to study music?
I actually studied mathematics at uni.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Wow,
So
awesome.
I studied with the saxophone teacher at the Con, who
Okay.
was Tony Hobbs.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome.
I kind of got in there. There's like a program for high school kids called
Okay.
the Young Conservatorium. So
yeah.
I
Yeah.
kind of,
Yeah. I remember that. Yeah. of
Yeah,
course,
so I started doing that and got to know him through that.
Oh,
So I
awesome.
learned from him
Yeah,
while
yeah.
I was at uni.
Okay. Beautiful.
But yeah.
So you started late in a sense. Will you say like?
Oh no
early
just-
20s or-
no
No, you're
like,
teenager already,
So I did
yeah.
the thing where everyone my first instrument was actually bass clarinet. in
Okay. Awesome.
Grade 3
Oh,
at
the
school.
big mama, no?
yeah,
The big
yeah,
is
yeah,
beautiful, yeah,
So the
cool.
guy who came to our school to show us the instrument, it's the one that looked most like saxophone. I
Yeah.
think you weren't allowed to play saxophone
Oh,
to
okay,
start
yeah.
with. You had to
Yeah.
play clarinet, and
Sure.
like bass clarinet's close. And the dude played the Adams Family, and I was like, yeah, that's
like
pretty
that,
cool.
yeah,
So yeah,
totally. That's
so I played
cool.
bass clarinet, and then started playing saxophone a little bit after that.
Nice,
Yeah. So I've
awesome.
been kind of doing it
Yeah.
through all that.
Yeah.
That was it. And yeah, since then I've done a music masters and all that kind
okay,
of stuff.
of
So
course,
yeah,
sure.
I'm in the game. But
Awesome.
yeah.
And do you find there's a connection like, between mathematics and music?
Yeah, I think so. I think
Yeah?
it's like an abstract, like the symbolism, like in maths, there's a lot of symbols to describe
Sure.
stuff, and same in music. And
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
it's the ability
Yeah.
to equate symbols to something real.
Yeah.
I think that to me that's a connection.
Yeah,
It's,
absolutely,
you know,
yeah.
you can keep things straight in your mind.
Yeah.
And then apply that to the real world.
Absolutely,
That's
yeah.
what I find the
Cool,
connection
man.
is. But yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And there are different types of saxes, right? So this is an alto
Yeah,
sax.
there's an alto.
Yeah.
And I play a lot of tenor saxophone
Yeah.
as well, and a lot of baritone.
Yeah.
So
Baritone is the big one as well.
yeah,
right?
yeah,
That's a
yeah,
big,
yeah. It's super fun to play, but
Is it?
heavy
Does
to
it take a
lug
lot of
around.
air? Like,
Like only a little bit more. It's
Okay,
like
sure.
it's not too bad,
Okay,
but
cool, yeah.
heavy. That's,
Ah,
that's
'cause
the problem.
heavy, yeah, sure.
yeah. But, and I soprano as well.
Ah, yeah, beautiful other soprano,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So people know John Coltrane's my favorite
sure.
things. That's
yeah,
soprano.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, there aren't many soprano gigs around. The only soprano gigs are ones I make for myself.
Oh,
so
really?
but yeah, and then as a saxophone player, you're kind of obliged kind of obliged to play flute and clarinet as well.
Yeah,
Which
absolutely,
is,
right,
Which is
sure.
fun. Like
Yeah,
clarinet's fun because you get to play swing, all the
Yeah,
swing
of
dance
course,
stuff as
yeah,
well.
it's
So it's
super
like,
fun,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
awesome.
So it's cool.
And is the same fingery through all the instruments?
No,
or-
saxophone's designed so it's all the same.
Yeah, yeah.
And then they're all based on, well, it's called the Bohm system, or
Okay.
most of them are based on that.
Yeah.
So flute is similar but different enough to make it
Yeah,
very
sure,
tricky.
yeah. To mess with your head.
Yeah.
Sure.
And then clarinet's different
Yeah.
again.
It's like this guitar, right? So this is a Brazilian guitar, has 7 strings. I've given this guitar to like geniuses, you know,
Yeah.
incredible guitarists, so much better than me. But just that one little string that
Yeah.
throws them off is like completely lost.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I think it's crap back. I don't like it.
Yeah.
So cool.
Yeah.
And what are your current projects at the moment? What have you been working on?
One of the main things it's sort of weird. Since I've had kids, I've been playing less jazz. It's like to play
Yeah.
jazz, you've just got to be out
Yeah.
and people talk to you and be like, do you want to play tomorrow night? It's like, yeah,
Of
sure.
course,
Like, you got to be
like,
able to say
the
yes to
network
everything.
is- Exactly.
And when you
totally.
don't say yes to everything, you kind of stop existing. It's like, which is fine with me. It's
Yeah.
like kids not sleeping and stuff. It's
Yeah.
like too exhausting.
Of course.
So I'll be getting back into jazz gigs soon. It's starting. I think I'm almost ready. But
Good.
but as a result, I've been playing in more like bands
cool.
since then. So
Awesome.
a band that I run with a guy called Jimmy Beavis, and it's called the Holy Roller Coasters.
Yeah,
Kind of a
awesome.
original soul band.
Oh, listen.
Which is super fun. So, and as a result, you can play festivals. And
Yeah, totally,
like little
yeah.
jazz stuff
Yeah.
never really gets festivals.
Yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
And
And just puts us in a little box.
Yeah,
right? It's
yeah,
hard.
which is good. There are heaps of gigs, but
Yeah,
they're
sure.
not many big gigs.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
Yeah. More like gigs and stuff.
yeah.
Yeah, gotcha. Sure.
And I play in the Francis Wolves as well, which is like a kind of, I think we call it a garage soul band or
Oh,
garage
yeah?
funk soul band or something. But
Cool.
that's a band that's kind of been on hiatus for maybe 2 or 3 years.
Okay,
Like when I
sure.
joined, we did a heap of gigs and then
Yeah.
it's kind of been quiet. All,
Yeah.
Like half the people in the band are heads of departments of
Oh,
various
really?
private school music departments around, so everyone's
So
busy.
they're busy.
Yeah,
sure.
but we've got an album in the can that's like almost ready to be
Oh, really?
released,
Cool.
and then when that, I think once that's out, we'll be
You'll start
hitting the streets, and yeah. So
Good on you.
and then and I got a little swing band that plays called the Pantheon of Swing. That
The
plays,
Pantheon of Swing.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
great
yeah.
name.
That,
That's
that
awesome.
plays the like
Yeah.
you know Balboa and Lindy
Yeah.
Hop stuff, and
Beautiful.
so it's fun.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah.
And you did you played in big bands. You
Yeah.
used to run a big band as well. or
Well,
no?
the
Yeah.
one round here is pretty quiet
Oh,
these
is it?
days.
Oh, especially
So,
COVID and stuff, of
yeah.
course, yeah.
Well, so the Enthusiastic Musicians Orchestra was the
Yeah.
one I was involved in.
Yeah.
And I used to kind of conduct that a bit, which
Yeah,
I kind
awesome.
of stepped back from and started playing baritone because it's more fun to play baritone in the band than have to stand out the front and make sure everyone behaves themselves.
Oh,
So it's
yeah,
like,
tricky, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, and I wrote a lot of music
Yeah.
for that band.
Awesome.
Again, me and Josh Hatcher and
Yeah.
a heap of other people as well
Cool.
wrote music for
Fantastic,
that
yeah.
band. So yeah.
Yeah.
So I miss writing for big bands.
Do
It's
you?
like,
Yeah.
it's cool to be able to write stuff down and then just have this ginormous wall of
it
sound
must be amazing.
come at
right?
you.
Yeah,
like,
of course.
yeah,
That's
so,
right.
Yeah. so
Oh,
it's cool,
nice,
but,
beautiful.
yeah.
And like writing for big bands, how's that process? Like, was it original stuff and you?
Yeah,
like,
mostly.
yeah.
Oh, some arrangements as well,
Yeah, some
but
arrangements as well,
we did a big
stuff,
project of the music of Graham Norris.
Yeah.
Maybe
Oh, I
probably
love
like
Graham
10.
Norris. I
Yeah.
played with him a few times.
Ah,
He's
cool. Yeah, he's
amazing.
back in town as well.
Is he?
So, yeah,
'Cause
he's
he
been
went
in
to
New York.
right?
Yeah.
Sure, yeah.
And that was
Wow.
maybe 10 years ago. So that's called One for B.
Yeah.
I think you can still get it. Bandcamp or something, you can
Okay,
get it and
cool.
check it
Oh,
out. So me and
definitely
Josh
check it
did
out.
most of the arranging.
Oh,
so, yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
But yeah. So yeah.
Beautiful.
So yeah, the process. I don't know. It's hard,
Yeah.
it's hard to like. I think it's like anything else. It's just
Yeah.
that once you have an idea
Yeah.
and you want to boost it up, it's a lot more work
sure. Yeah,
to
of
boost
course.
it up.
Yeah,
but
totally.
yeah.
Because you got all those kind of like, I guess, voices and sounds that
Yeah.
you can explore, like
And the
infinite
problem is,
possibilities, right? With the big
and then the
band,
problem
right?
is overusing those possibilities
Ah,
as well.
sure,
Like
of
it's
course,
you know,
yeah. Absolutely,
So
yeah.
like a lot of young writers would just
go
write for everyone all the
fast and-
time. It's like
yeah,
I have
yeah.
all this, I should use it.
Sure.
But, you know, it's like
Yeah.
it's that balancing act kind of thing.
Of
It's
course, yeah.
really tricky.
Kind of
but,
tricky,
yeah.
absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah.
less is more.
Yeah,
kind of
totally,
thing,
and that's
yeah.
the fun of it, I think.
Yeah,
It's like,
sure.
yeah, and finding those different color combinations as well. It, like no other, unless you're writing for orchestra,
Yeah,
you don't have
sure.
that,
Yeah,
you know, that ability. So
Yeah.
it's cool.
Do you know like a big band? Was a guy called Stan Kenton? You
Yeah,
heard of him,
yeah. I know Kenton.
Cool,
Yeah.
He influenced a lot, kind of Brazilian music.
Oh,
Arthur
really?
Jobim and all those guys. I used to
Right.
listen a lot to him. So
Yeah.
apparently he's like a lot of big harmonies. You
Yeah,
know,
right.
Sharp 11s and flat
Yeah,
13s
yeah, he
and
was
all
one of
that
the
stuff.
guys who really pushed for like 20th century orchestral writing to
really?
become part of big band writing.
Ah,
It's,
really?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
cool.
So he supported some pretty weird. There's
Yeah.
a guy called Bob Gradinger who's like the craziest writer
Oh, really?
for big band I've ever
Oh,
heard,
really,
like
yeah?
ever.
Cool.
Even, and that was in the 50s, and since then I haven't heard anything
Oh,
like
really?
it. It's
What's his name again?
Bob Granger.
Granger. Okay,
Gra-
I'll check him out.
Gratinger.
Gratinger,
The album's
okay.
called City of Glass.
City of Glass.
And
okay.
it's crazy.
Is it?
They're awesome, but crazy. It's like really good. Yeah, yeah. yeah.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
So who's your favorite? Like, who's your favorite? I guess arranger for big bands.
I think Ellington's.
Ellington,
just-
still, yeah.
Yeah,
of
yeah.
course,
It's like it's just.
yeah.
What he did
Yeah.
is. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's
Immortal,
and unsurpassable in that he had a band
Yeah.
with him every day,
I
and they were playing every
know.
day and rehearsing every day. And if
Right.
he wrote something, he could get it.
Yeah.
So it's like, and then irrelevant to that, it's like he's just the greatest genius, like of all jazz. It's like, yeah.
That's so funny,
yeah,
it's so cool.
There's heaps of other guys, but and women. Marie Schneider's like
yeah.
kind of the archetypal current modern big band writer, and she's great. But
Right, awesome,
but yeah, I think Ellington's
Ellington's
it really.
Yeah. I was talking to a friend the other day. He's like, how is it possible now they had this, I think we're watching a movie and he said, oh, why is it possible? Like, look at all these musicians. How can people afford, to pay, a big band, which is something, I guess, relevant to our times because we don't, to get like a quartet, to get a gig as a quartet is like, oh, such a luxury.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yeah, I think all the big bands around here are just labors of love.
Yeah, exactly,
That's
right?
it.
Yeah, it has
Yeah.
to be, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's so sad.
Yeah. But it is.
Bloody
There's,
DJs.
yeah. But there's
It's 'cause of
something
technology.
but there's a visceral experience. Like you can't beat that
exactly,
amount of sound just
totally.
happening. Like even in an
Absolutely.
orchestra, it's
Yeah.
similar. But I mean, I got a saxophone
It's
player
so
who doesn't get
loud,
to play an
so
orchestra.
powerful,
Yeah.
totally. Oh,
And to be able to go from nothing to that in 1 second is it's an incredible
insane.
kind of machine, right? That can do that. But,
It's insane. It's amazing.
Yeah.
And usually, like when big bands, I went to see a few, and like you're sitting pretty close, to the wall of sound. And sometimes when you go and see an orchestral,
Yeah,
stuff,
that's true.
Unless you got the money, you can see
Yeah,
right in the front.
yeah,
You gotta
right.
see right at the back, and then
Yeah.
like it's sometimes I feel like they almost should kind of amplify a little bit more because I went to with this friend of mine, and she was young. She was going, yeah, it was nice, but it was kind of quiet. That was her response. I was going, holy shit, how can you compete like with a rock and roll band?
Yeah,
you know what
yeah.
I mean? Like those, huge amps and stuff.
Yeah.
And it was so sad because there was, I don't know, it was so beautiful, so sophisticated, but I think for new audiences, in order for them to relate to what a contemporary music experience, you need to have that oomph, you know what I mean?
I don't know the orchestral stuff well enough, but like if they perform the Rite of Spring, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know if they
yeah.
play as loud
Yeah,
as they can,
yeah.
because it's pretty.
It's pretty hardcore. It's pretty rock and roll.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
totally. Yeah. So,
It's so good. Yeah. So you got a couple of kids at the moment,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So you're not gigging much. You're just focusing on the family at the moment.
Yeah, not
so-
as much. Yeah, it's just tricky to.
Yeah,
You just
of course,
it's like
of course.
kids are little.
Yeah, little ones.
Yeah,
especially,
and
right?
like little random experience generators. So anything could happen anytime. So, yeah.
Totally, so
Yeah,
cool.
but they're both super into music. You can just
Yeah.
kind of tell they're just
Awesome.
they like
Beautiful.
love playing and stuff. And
Yeah.
they've got ukuleles and
Yeah.
there's great trumpets. These plastic trumpets you can get now as well. They're like
Yeah.
are
Oh,
unbreakable,
really?
and so we've got one of
Awesome.
those, and it's
Cool.
like so we've got heaps, and you can have all the tambourines and stuff. So we've got heaps of music stuff.
Yeah, cool. And are you like, are you still practicing? Are you still writing?
Yeah,
and stuff like that?
writing's more for the soul bands.
Yeah, yeah,
a lot of
cool,
writing.
awesome.
So yeah, not so much jazz writing
Yeah, sure.
lately. I've been writing. I've got a saxophone quartet with some of the
really?
guys
Oh, cool.
guys around town.
Oh, yeah, nice.
And it's really fun to write for. And it's sort of a similar mindset of writing to a big band, but it's much easier to have an idea and get it done.
Yeah,
like to
sure.
go from conception to completion is much
Yeah,
faster
much
than big
quicker,
bands. So it's
yeah,
fun.
sure.
And,
Yeah,
and it's kind of
awesome.
I get to hang out with saxophone player friends and play, and so it's cool.
Awesome.
So,
Yeah,
it's
it's
fun.
like different saxes? Or
Yeah,
what's
so it's a
the
classic
ensemble?
saxophone quartet is like soprano, alto, tenor, and baritone.
Oh, yeah,
So
cool.
Andy Ball, who plays in bullhorn, plays
Yeah, yeah.
soprano, and I play the alto. Josh Hatcher
Awesome.
plays tenor, and Joe Roberts plays baritone. If anyone knows the Bluey soundtrack, Joe's
Really?
Joe's
Yeah,
the
cool.
star of the Bluey soundtrack for me anyway on baritone. Yeah, so it's cool. We just get to hang out and play, and everyone's really great players, so it's like easy to get stuff together and not too much rehearsing.
Beautiful.
Yeah, so it's cool.
Man.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I was gonna ask you, like, do you play harmonic instruments? Do you have to play
Yeah.
piano, guitar?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, you need
I think
to,
so.
right?
I think so to understand.
Yeah.
And piano's great because you can see
Yeah, cool.
exactly what's happening in front of you. But yeah, I
Sure.
play guitar the way most people do. Just
do,
at home for my own enjoyment and not out of the house. But yeah.
And what do you prefer to use for composing? Because sometimes I find, I play a little bit of piano and stuff, but like, I feel because of the way the guitar is shaped, kind of gives you this kind of shapes. The piano, the piano is very kind of horizontal, I guess, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the guitar just gives the opportunity to create kind of shapes and chords that wouldn't necessarily, do you know what I mean, come to the piano,
totally,
right?
And it's like it's your instrument as well.
Yeah,
So
of
it's
course,
like it's nice to be able to. I can't do it on this.
Yeah,
so it's like, that's cool. Yeah.
So you tend to use the piano more.
Or like kind of straight in. Like I really like composing straight into the computer as
really?
well.
Yeah, awesome,
particularly when you're writing for like 4 saxophone voices.
sure.
Like I can't play.
Yeah.
And I like to write contrapuntally instead of.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Kind of block chords,
sure,
like more lines that are.
Beautiful.
So it's like I can't play 4 lines at a time.
Yeah, of course.
Whereas the computer can definitely do that. It's easy.
Totally.
So I let it do it.
Awesome.
So it's kind of I reckon it's a balance of the two.
Yeah,
like
sure,
piano at the piano and at the computer.
Of course,
yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh man, beautiful. So should we play another song?
Yeah, let's do it.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much for being here, man.
Thanks for having me. It's
fun.
delightful.
Beautiful. Yeah. What is this thing called love? By Cole Porter.
Thanks, man.
So, did you guys like it? If you really liked it, please don't forget to subscribe, give it a like, and if you really like it, you want to support us, don't forget to go to the link down below and go to our Patreon account where you can help us keep going. Thank you so much. See you soon.